an in-depth and comprehensive deep dive into the causes of the government shutdown. The Democrats and their propagandists in the mainstream media are going into overdrive to try and convince the American public that the Democrats aren't trying to shut down the government to give illegal immigrants free health care, that this is just a big misinformation campaign by the Republicans. So who's telling the truth? Who do you guys think is telling the truth?
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay. Let me start with you, Mayor Buttigieg. Why?
It also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for health care services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
healthcare.
record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a
health
yes.
care.
That's a yes.
I'm such a
That's a Democratic
it
position.
is a yes, but
Yeah.
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean,
How is this controversial?
but
How is it controversial?
How is it controversial if they don't want someone to die in the hospital because they can't afford
Who do you
it?
think pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital? Who pays for that?
We all pay for it.
Exactly.
including
I mean, we all
undocumented
pay
people
for
because
it.
they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that undocumented
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers.
And perhaps,
Are you for it or not?
Can I start my logic train?
Are
with
you for it or not?
My logic train starts with
Just-
the fact
just
that
say
I don't
yes.
want to kick 11 million people off
Do you
of
want
Medicaid.
the illegal aliens on or not?
Do I want first of all, do I want undocumented citizens to have
say
health care?
yes.
The answer is yes.
Scott,
Okay.
if someone is
More
undocumented,
Democrats.
do you want them to not get insulin if they're diabetic?
I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it. That is what I
What about
want.
second? How about this? When the people that are
passionate.
picking your peaches. Yeah, I'm passionate
Very
about Americans.
passionate for the illegals.
Sorry,
No, I'm passionate for
How
Americans.
dare you want people to be alive? How dare you?
Passionate for the illegals. Bring more.
No, I actually want
But yes,
safe and secure borders.
You need more. To make your vision of America work, we need more illegals who get more benefits. That's your version of America.
No, what I want from America is a place that was promised to us, Scott.
To the illegals?
Like you do. No, it was promised to us. It was promised to us,
who?
not us, me and you, black and white, brown. Scott, do you think that your family was
You were born
here?
here.
You weren't born here, Scott.
I was born in
First of all,
Dawson Springs.
where does your family come from? My family wasn't born here. My family was actually from Sierra Leone.
You're making
Scott,
a passionate argument
correct
for a
about
country
what our country's-
built on unfettered illegal immigration, and that is not
No,
anywhere
our
near
country,
a politically popular
Our
position.
country is built on immigration, period.
What kind?
Period.
What kind?
Okay.
Oh, and first of all, before we go to commercial, what kind? What kind of immigration was I brought here?
You're already
with?
in the hole. You sure you don't want to stop
No,
digging?
because it was slavery. That's not immigration.
Come on.
well, okay.
Come on, what?
All right, there's a lot to be said.
Come on.
Hold on.
No, but you just can't
We-
say come on when somebody's like, my family was brought here in chains. The answer's not come on.
You kind of danced around the illegal. You do want to provide health care to illegal immigrants that are here right now.
That's a Republican talking point, and it's shameful
Is it true?
that you would continue. Of course not. I just said repeatedly that it is not.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
Finding information is very hard on this subject, and it's hard to get a clear answer. Well, when doing the research, I found this proposed law called the Non-Citizen Eligibility for Medicaid and CHIP. And in this text, I actually found a pretty good summation of the law as it currently stands in regards to illegal aliens and Medicaid, qualified and non-qualified aliens. In general, with respect to an applicant's immigration status, non-citizen eligibility for most federal public benefits, including Medicaid and CHIP, is governed by the term qualified alien, which is created by PRWORA as amended. Qualified aliens include lawful permanent residents, refugees, alien granted parole for at least 1 year, aliens granted asylum or related relief, certain abused spouses and children, Cuban, Haitian entrants, and citizens of the freely associated states residing in the U.S. states and territories. Certain victims of human trafficking, Iraqi and Afghan special immigrants, and certain Afghan and Ukrainian parolees are not necessarily qualified aliens, but are treated like refugees for purpose of federal public benefits. Qualified aliens who are otherwise eligible may be covered by Medicaid and CHIP with certain specified restrictions. So here's a list of the immigrants that were eligible for Medicaid or CHIP. Lawful permanent residents, LPRS, refugees, aliens granted parole for at least 1 year, aliens granted asylum or related relief, certain abused spouses and children, Cuban, Haitian entrants, Iraqi and Afghan special immigrants, and certain Afghan and Ukrainian parolees. And how many of these people are currently residing in this country? Lawful permanent residents, LPRS, 11.9 million. Refugees, 700 to 800,000. Aliens granted parole for at least 1 year, 1.5 to 2 million. Aliens granted asylum or related relief, 1.2 to 1.5 million. Cuban Haitian entrants, 1.5 to 2 million. Iraqi and Afghan special immigrants, 80,000 to 100,000. There are 18.2 million potentially eligible aliens for Medicaid. And how many of these 18.2 million aliens are being kicked off the Medicaid rolls by Trump's big beautiful bill? Lawful permanent residents, 11.9 million. Minimal change. Refugees, 700 to 800,000. Eligibility, canceled. Aliens granted parole for at least 1 year, 1.5 to 2 million. Eligibility, canceled. Aliens granted asylum or related relief, 1.2 to 1.5 million. Eligibility, canceled. That's 4.3 million aliens being kicked off the Medicaid rolls. According to Reuters, the Democrats' proposal would also ensure that immigrants who are in the country legally would continue to qualify for ACA coverage. That would reverse an aspect of the Big Beautiful Bill Act that Republicans passed this summer, which excludes many quote-unquote legal immigrants from coverage starting in 2027. Would the Democrats' proposal provide government-backed health care to foreign citizens who are in the U.S. illegally? Republicans say the Democrats' proposal would open up subsidized ACA coverage to people who are in the country illegally. That's not true, according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. CBO says the Democratic plan would only restore coverage to certain categories of immigrants who would lose access to the ACA due to Republicans' One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Coverage will be restored to asylum seekers, refugees, people on work visas, and students. So the Democrats' entire argument is that these refugees and asylum seekers are legal immigrants. And here's footage of these asylum seekers and refugees that are entitled to free health care here in the United States, according to the Democrats, and a population for which the Democrats are more than willing to shut down the fucking government for. And you might be curious as to how these people became legal refugees and asylum seekers. And lucky for us, that mystery was solved during the presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz.
Thank you, Governor. And just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
So there we go. It all hinges upon what terms you use. Because we all know that the millions of people that poured across the border illegally weren't legitimate refugees or asylum seekers. They are, in the spirit of the law and in all actual reality, illegal immigrants. And yes, the Democrats are definitely shutting down the government to give these illegal immigrants free health care.